Hello, welcome back to Blender Live Noding. In this episode, I will be creating something random using SVerchok nodes. So it's an improvisation totally, and I'll be using one node that I never use. It's actually Platonic solid. So regular solid. So these nodes actually generates a lot of really cool geometry. So I almost never use this, but it's actually really quite cool. So by default, you actually just get this kind of like a pyramid, but there's all these presets for the custom, and it should give you a lot. And the name is actually quite funky as well. Like if you ever memorize some geometry in math, these are some of them. If you hold Control Shift and then just scroll down, you can see there are so many interesting presets that you can get already from this guy. Okay, and of course you can play with the size, vertex truncations. If you animate these, sometimes the vertex is kind of popping and changing, but still it's kind of really interesting to be able to do this, and maybe we can animate this even. So let's try doing that. So it's gonna be interesting. So improv Platonic. If you ever wonder, like, can something random actually entertain you? Apparently, with human brain, you can. You can, like, not just in nature. If you see flowers or whatever, that's kind of everything in nature that surrounds us, like tree, flowers, insects. Trees and flowers, especially, they're not moving, but they still kind of entertain us when the wind blows, etc. So that's kind of idea I want to try. Since this regular solid seems to be mostly involving triangles, I like to plug it into a dual mesh. So we're probably gonna end up something that's a little bit more interesting. And then on top of that, I want to try just random extrusion. So extrude separate face, yeah. Oops. Select, type V, and just extrude. I think this kind of geometry alone is already kind of entertaining, at least for me. But see, we can animate this like that, for example. So the value maybe goes between minus to something. We can animate this and simulate motions. We can use oscillator, map range. So from here we can map it to different value. Let's see, using frame. So we plug this math. This is the multiplier for the time. By doing this, if you look at the stethoscope, we're gonna have value. That's a little bit too fast, but it's basically going between 0 and 2 because we are offsetting it by 1 by default. So anyway, just plug this in and this goes into the height. So now we should have, oh, we cannot have that. Maybe there's a problem with this list limits in that case. So we're just gonna do it this way. So minimum and maximum value. It's too fast, super fast. This is probably better. So we already have something that's kind of alive. It could be better if we actually maybe add some kind of noise here with the height. I don't know if I should do that or not. Maybe I don't need to do that for now. Just, we are pretty happy with this living organism. Looks like yeah, something that's just moving. And then on top of that, we can animate this. Yeah, some of them is actually create a pop. In animation, we don't like to see the pop too much. This is nice. So this one is nice. If we actually animate the size as well while it's extruding, you see? So we have to perhaps do like the opposite. So let's try doing that. We're gonna maybe offset this timing, the timing of the frame, and then multiply this with the same value here. Use the same sine oscillator. The output can go into the size. So this map range goes into the size. The size can go between 0 and 5. About this is like approximations. Let's see how this goes. I'm trying to offset the time, so it looks like it's going in and out. Period. Actually, I should play around with the period, not this add. Just gonna get rid of these. Multiply this with the same value. Just change the period. Yeah, at some point I think it will create a more interesting result. So other than that, what else can we do? Okay, the scaling. Just gonna leave the scaling. We can also rotate this character. So vector transform. We can transform the mesh. Maybe rotate it. Rotate is also kind of useful. You can rotate it in different angle based on the normal or global XYZ, or custom. So we can actually rotate it in all kind of different directions. Let's try with a vector and then vector noise. This is the easiest, I think. Plug this there, plug this in there. We're gonna have random vector for our rotations based on this. So we can plug in another frame value, multiply this with math, and we can start rotating this creature randomly. Maybe we can also do the same with the positions or something. So let's try. See, circle. Circle is a good, okay. But that's interesting. Let's just make a bunch of them. So they're like doing a little dance. I don't know if I could have different value for each. Maybe I cannot. Oh yeah, actually I'm getting different value coming in for the noise, but maybe transform mesh does not really do it for us. I try list split. Yeah, it doesn't seem to work. We need to perhaps use monad to get a different motion for each one of them and then to pass it into this character. But I think that's a good start. You can always use noise displays here and then animate the positions. So each one of them is animating its position randomly, so it's a bit more alive. So another frame info, another multiplier. Plug this into the vector. Make it dance. Scale, okay. Let's do it this way. So I think that even though it's simple, I think it's still quite interesting that we are kind of, okay, look at it and yeah, it's kind of nice. If each one of them can be slightly more random with the offset of how it's extruding, maybe it's gonna be more interesting for our human brain, I guess. So here, play around with the custom Platonic. You're gonna get all kind of different interesting result, and then just subdivide it. Maybe cool. Okay. If you want smooth, just here, just enable smooth shade. Maybe calculate normal. It's gonna be slower, but that's still kind of interesting. Again, like I said, can we be entertained by inanimate objects? Yes, definitely. So we have a bunch of different presets, and yeah, I guess just try and playing around with this. Maybe you're gonna have something that's interesting. So even with this, you have all kind of different options. You can enable dual, which is interesting. I guess I can just leave it here. It's kind of nice. I could bake it out and then turn it into augmented reality objects and maybe get it entertained. Okay, there's one. If you ever wanna push this further, there's one thing. Currently, it's all a bit random, and the noise is also random. Usually, what makes this alive is if we actually put in our own, maybe like human motion, or even better, you can try music and try the beat and make the beat control the animations. I think that's like the ultimate procedural creature, like living, make it like looks like they're alive. Currently, it's like they're kind of like floating in the fluid dynamics of some sort. Usually, something like this is something that you want to create using particles, I suppose. But yeah, particle and maybe some kind of field, force, not just gravity, but all kind of force makes the creatures a little bit alive. And sometimes it goes against the force and it's actually making it more alive, but most of the time it's just gonna follow the force, the wind, etc. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to turn this into a monad, each one of them can have a different characteristic. So not all of them is animating at the same. Currently it's just the same. You can always bake it out as Alembic and then bring it in and then offset the animations. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a Platonic. I just call it living Platonic. One day this is gonna be particles, and we're gonna turn this into something else. So thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.